Hi, I'm Red. You're watching Power Garage. Today, Julian, he brought his car back for me to work on a little bit. I've been talking to this dude about doing the all-wheel drive. He's got a brand new truck. He's trying to mess with that a little bit. So today we're just going to do a couple little things to get this car to hook up a little bit better. We got a Hondata Traction control system. It's not really that difficult to install. This car's a Civic DX, so it never came with ABS. But the traction control system is actually pretty easy to set up even on a car that doesn't have ABS. All you need is the ABS sensors. You wire them in, you plug this into the K-Pro, tune it, and you're good. Picked up some R888s for the front, get a little bit of traction, and then we're going to take it to the track pretty soon and see what kind of times we can run. Okay, so as you can see, there's a place for the sensor, but there isn't one. We have the reluctor ring on this axle, which they pretty much all come like that. So I have this speed sensor. These knuckles and axles are for an RSX Type S. So you have to use the Type S sensor. If you have like a base model, then you have to use the base model. You have to use the correct sensor for the correct vehicle. It just depends on what kind of car you have. So, I mean, it's pretty easy. All we have to do is really just bolt this bad boy up. Connect, there's a couple brackets here to get this thing out of the way. Want to make sure that it's not going to be stretched on nothing. Okay, yeah, give me a second. Tighten this up. Go, it's not touching. And then right here, I got some cut wires, and these wires right here are just going to go straight to the unit. There's 8 wires, 2 for each sensor. And because this is just like, I'm not sure what they call it, it creates its own voltage. It's a passive sensor, I guess. That's what they call it. It'll create a voltage that'll go to the unit, so you really don't have to wire up anything other than just the sensors. And since this car did come with ABS at one point, we have all the bolt holes and everything ready to go. You just have to wire it up, and then I'm just going to run the wires. So give me a little bit. I'm going to go mount up that unit, and we're going to take a look at the wires and start running them to the sensors. And this just has to be done for basically all 4 corners. They're all basically like that. So pretty easy. Just going to take me a little bit of time to run the wires so they don't get melted and all that. So yeah, give me a minute. I'm going to do these sensors, and I'll show you how to wire up the unit. Okay, so me and Julian are in this car. We're hooking up all the unit. We mounted the switch. You need this so you can dial in how much traction you want, and then we run the wire back here. Ignore the mess. You know, this car is in a process of being built. And then we're going to mount the unit to this kick panel right here. Okay, we put some screws, and then in order to wire this up, it's actually pretty simple. We just need the red and black, which is power and ground. I'm going to wire this to the where the ECU gets power, and then we have the orange right here. This is the signal wire. This has to go to the K-Pro to tell the K-Pro to take power out of the engine. Inside the calibration, there's 2 settings you can either bypass for the electronic load detection, the ELD, or the secondary oxygen sensor. Since this car has never had a secondary oxygen sensor and never will, that's what we're going to do. So we have to wire this to E2, I believe. I have to look it up. And then these wires right here, we just have to run to each corner. I looked at the instructions. I believe the yellow with blue is left front, and the green with right is right front. So those are the ones we're going to wire first. There's a little hole that goes through the car into the fender, and we're just going to run those wires through. And then the other 4 need to go to the back of the car for the back 2 sensors. And then that's about it. So we're going to wire these up, and once they're all wired up, we're going to test it. And I'll show you guys how to test it and to calibrate the unit. It's not that difficult. Okay, so give me a few minutes. Okay, so we wired up all the sensors. We ran 4 wires all the way back to the rear sensors. We ran another 4 wires up to the front sensors. We had to extend all the wires because they were just a little too short. So now what I'm going to do is we got to wire up the unit to the actual K-Pro. So let me get some of this electrical tape off of here. So the way I'm going to set it up is I'm going to wire it to the secondary oxygen sensor, because we don't intend to use that. So, strip some of this back. So, that's the orange wire right here. So, let me strip this. And then, in the K manager, you can pick between two things. This is just what I want to use. On the E connector, it's pin number 2. This one's already cut. I wasn't using it before, so it makes sense that it doesn't go to anything. So just connect this. Pretty easy. All the sensors are connected to the unit. I plugged in the slip control, and then after you connect this to the K-Pro, I'm going to have to upload the calibration. It also needs power and ground, but that can go to the A connector. I'm just going to tap into the wires that I was using for the wideband. And then that's pretty much it. So let me get this wiring done, and I'll get that calibration uploaded, and me and Julian can go for a ride, test this thing out. Should be fun. Crank up the boost a little bit. Right, Julian?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm Red. You're watching Power Garage. We're here at the track over at Barona Speedway, running these cars, trying to get some good times, see what these guys can do. You know, they got to get a little bit of experience, you know, breaking these cars, get some good times. We got Moses' car, just got freshly tuned, made 325. We got Temo's running a little bit extra boost, and then we got Julian's car over there. Got to get them all dialed in, make some good times. So I already took a few runs, so we're going to go back and we're going to check those out and kind of talk about what happened. So take a look.